You know, this bicentennial F-106 was sent to the island of misfit models. I'm not even sure why. Oh, yeah, that's why. Welcome to Max's Models. I'm Max. Well, hey, Glue Troopers, Max and Max's Models here. And a whole bunch of stuff happened yesterday. Now, I'm actually making this video yesterday, but had already put out 2 videos, so I didn't want to just keep saturating the channel with them. So I'm putting this one up tomorrow, which is your today. So this is actually Max from yesterday. So a lot of things to talk about. A whole bunch of stuff happened yesterday. So let's get to it. First off, I got over to Hurricane Hobbies, and Ian had this cool little model truck he was playing with, so I shot some video of that real quick, and he talks about it, and these are for sale through his store. Talk to me about it.
It's an SCX30, axial SCX30. It's a newer truck. I have a brushless system in here so that it can go like super slow, and it's really strong and torquey, but they're really neat.
Who makes it?
Axial.
Axial. What do these things run?
$100 starting. Mine is upgraded with about as much over again in motor and ESC and stuff.
That is cool.
Yeah, you can make them crawl like a really gentle. Yeah, you can dress them up all scale.
Oh, that is super cool. That would go so great with a lot of the other RC stuff that's out there.
Yeah, it's super small. I mean, like, it's just whatever for banana for scale, whatever.
Cool. Also, he and I kind of worked up a little deal. If you come from out of state or travel more than 200 miles, he'll give you 5% off your purchase. If you mention you came because you saw it here, he'll give you 4%. So, anywho, we had a lot going on there. When I was there, I saw that Revell had the tube glue. Now, it's actually been out for a while. It probably came out at the same time the stuff in the little squeeze bottles does, but some people actually prefer the metal tube, so he started carrying it. It was time for me to get some more glue, and I was like, I'm working that B25. Let's give this a good test, see how it works compared to, like, say, for instance, testers, because I like the stuff that comes in a little blue squeeze bottle. So we got that. And while I was over there, it was unboxing day. The models had been delivered. So all kinds of cool stuff coming into the boxes. But the other thing was I noticed he had some new old kits. I guess he got a couple of more, I don't know if they were estate sales or what. I didn't really ask him about it. But there's some stuff there. If you're interested in it, you should let them know. I don't think they're doing mail order yet. But they may get into that at some point. They're not really set up for it, but you can always give them a call. And just every once in a while, I found this really cool stuff there. I'm like, it's one of those things that you just never know what you're going to find when you go in there. Just depending on what's available. And of course, once these are gone, they're gone. It's not like he can restock the vintage stuff. So then I go over to the post office, and there's a box from Mr. Markle. And he said he was going to send me some stuff. Now, as per the cold intro here, over 20-something years ago, I did this 1/72nd scale F-106, and time has not been kind to it either. But it wasn't the worst job. I had it on the shelf for a long time, but this part was all decal, which made it kind of a little tricky, but there were some little spots that were hard to cover. But overall, it went on fairly straightforward. But the bottom stripes you had to paint, and it's been so long. I think I tried making red decal. Well, yeah, some of it's flaking off. I tried to print some red decal stripes, and back then I was using a inkjet printer, and I put the clear coat on it and everything, but it ran just a little bit when they were applied, probably because they were so big. And so I tried to touch it up, and it was pretty rough. So from there, it didn't look too bad. From there, it was rough. The drop tanks are actually in my spares box. But I'd always wanted a second bite at the apple on this because I live in Jacksonville, and this was the city of Jacksonville, which, if I may tangent off here for just a second, he's back. For those who are too young to remember or are not American, in 1976, we had our bicentennial. In fact, a few days we're having our, bisequicentennial? I don't know, 250th anniversary. But the 200th anniversary is a big deal. And people were painting everything red, white, and blue. And you have to remember, this is only a year after Saigon fell. So America was kind of down in dumps. I actually talked about that in my video, the 70s, the decade that changed everything, which I'll link below. America definitely needed some picking up, middle of stagflation, that stuff. But the bicentennial was an enormous nationwide celebration. And a lot of military units, especially Air Force and Navy units, were painting their aircraft all kinds of gaudy bicentennial colors. And of course, City of Jacksonville, this was theirs. And it even says 76 on the tail. And I personally, and of course I'm a little prejudiced because I'm from Florida, but I think the Jacksonville plane was the best looking of all the bicentennial aircraft, if not one of the gaudiest, but I just liked it. Now, one of the things that Mr. Markle sent me, I was going to do a regular unboxing, but I figured, you know what, instead of just holding this stuff up making a bunch of crunching noises, I'll show some decent pictures. So he got me this Hasegawa F-106 Delta Dart City of Jacksonville. That is the kit. And it comes complete with the decals. Now, unlike this one, you do have the decals for the tail and for the drop tanks, but all of this has got to be painted blue. So I'm going to have to try and match the blue that comes with it. I'm going to start off with navy blue, the regular Tamiya navy blue. I think that should be pretty close. But then you get the white stars. But what I'm going to do is, as my 4th of July video, and yes, I am planning a live stream on the 4th of July if you're going to be there. I'm going to do a video about this plane and the model. And then that'll be my, basically red, white, and blue, 4th of July video. So, the other thing he got me was this Piper L4H Cub from a company called Copro. Now, I'm not familiar with this company, but I did take the model out. It's 1/72nd scale. And overall, it looks like a pretty clean molding. And I won't really know till I build it. It's going to be fun trying to do the canopy framing at that scale, but it can be done. And I'm gonna keep all these models he gave me here in the office and work on them in here, and then just take them out to the Tarbis when it's time to paint them. I want some projects for in here. And this looks like a really easy build and really fairly straightforward to paint. You just got to be really, really careful with the framing around the canopy. Again, the deal 172 is just how small everything is. But having done that thing on Army Aviation, it does come with some decals that have the old pre-war markings. And I think that's the way I'm going to mark it. Yeah, you can put the Normandy D-Day stripes on all that stuff and give it some color and pop, but I just kind of want to go with the origin of Army Aviation, and that's where I'm at with that. So I'll tell you what my opinion of this company Copra is when I get the model done. A couple of kits from MPM, we're all familiar with them. One is Orion PT-20, also known as the STM S2. It's one of Orion's sportier little airplanes. I have flown in a PT-22. It's a similar airplane, but it's got the 5-cylinder Kenner on front. I've never flown with the inline. They're snug little airplanes. And popular trainers. The kit does have a few little issues with the molding, but not a big deal. But this, again, doesn't look particularly complex. It should be straightforward. I've built the old, the Hawk kit, which I think is 1/48 scale. I've got a couple of them out in the Tarbis, in fact, that are, aged poorly. The one that came on floats. This also has the optional floats or wheels. And I've done them both ways. And so I'll let you know what I'm doing with that. And also we have this other one from MPM. And for those who don't know, MPM is from Prague in the Czech Republic. And this is the A-17. Now the A-17 is an interesting airplane. It looks like a World War II airplane, but it actually is an interwar design. I think they were still in service at the outbreak of the war. I don't recall if they ever saw any combat in the early part of the war. I'll have to look that up. I'm probably putting a note on the screen. But this is when the Air Force was getting into airplanes that looked like World War II airplanes. And they still had a ways to go, but this was an important intermediate step. There weren't that many of them made because, well, partly, post-depression budgets and everything, but also they kind of knew that the airplane needed some evolution. But it was an important stepping stone. This has, again, mixed media. It's got a little bit of resin. Slightly more detailed kit. In fact, there's enough stuff in here. I really don't want to take it out because I'm afraid of losing something. But it's an interesting airplane, again, a 1/72nd scale. The greenhouse canopy is going to be just a whole bunch of fun. And then we have this Jenny from Olymp Models out of the Ukraine. Always happy to support the Ukrainian economy. Olymp, I'm not familiar with them, so I will just have to see how the model goes on put together. But this is the Gun Jenny. The Jenny was a trainer, but they did teach aerial gunnery in them. So some of them had a forward firing gun with interrupter gear. Some they had the ring and back, so that's how they train their gunners. This is going to be a bit of a challenge at 1/72nd scale. You all know how much fun I just had building all those 1/72nd scale Revell and Academy kits. So, and they actually were pretty straightforward. This looks like a little bit more of a challenge, and God, I'm going to regret saying this, but I feel like this one needs to be rigged. Oh, tell me I didn't just say that. Again, thank you, Mr. Markle, for these gifts, and they'll go here on the desk, and I will get started. One thing I'm thinking about maybe doing, I try to pre-paint as much as possible, because with my big hands, it's hard for me to get masking tape and everything to seal properly in the right areas. Some of these models, I think I'm just going to go ahead, except maybe for the cowlings or something that just be plugged on. I think I'm going to go ahead and try and build them all in, the nude, get them all sanded down, and kind of the standard way, where I will then prime and paint the whole thing after it's assembled, except maybe for things like the landing gear or the cowling. And that way I can build them in here, get them all filed down, sanded and everything ready to go, and maybe that'll work a little bit better. I don't know about you guys, to me probably the single most tedious thing is masking off the canopies. Sometimes I'd prefer just to go ahead with a toothpick or a super fine brush and just try to hand paint them. And one thing you can do, though, if you've got the patience for it, instead of trying to mask off and trim everything, just use little pieces of tape, just put them on each side of the framing and just tick one little mark, let that dry, then peel the tape, then go to another one and do it one little piece at a time. It actually can come out looking really good, but it's very time consuming. So, again, a lot happened yesterday. I still got to make the video on the F-106, but the kits all look pretty nice. The NPM kits tend to be, let's just say they're not for beginners. I'll let you know about the Olymp kit and the Copro kit. And if I didn't mention it, Copro is also the Czech Republic. So Copro and the NPM kits, Czech Republic, obviously Hasegawa, Japan, and Olymp out of Ukraine. So there we go. State of the modeling world as we know it today. Guys, we'll talk to you later. Take care of yourselves, and as always, model on.
Take one.
Okay, that's a wrap.